Welcome to an episode of Nobody Listens to Liz, real estate podcast that actually tells it like it is. I'm Leah Frederick.
I'm Liz Eric Dykes.
And I'm Sierra Peluso.
We're so glad you guys joined us today. We are talking about if you're waiting for certainty, you will still be renting at 40 or living in your parents' basement. First of all, though, I want to check in. How you guys doing today? How you enjoying this market that we're in? It's November 2025.
It's picking up for me.
That's good.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
Good.
It's good.
I feel like my listings have been a little slow. Not
Yeah.
too much attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is slow.
Yeah.
I have 2 listing appointments and another listing going live. That's not
That's
slow.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your buyers are actually getting off the fence a little bit, and that's what's kind of picking up for you, or
Sellers.
No, the sellers.
Sellers. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
So the listings are still coming in, but
Yeah.
the buyers are not swarming like they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, the market, as of this morning, I think it was 6.19% interest rates. I think that's
Depending
about right.
on your credit.
Depending on your credit. So everybody's been talking about, okay, once it drops underneath 6, then everybody should get off the fence. I'm not sure I believe that, because it seems now we're going into the holiday season too.
Yeah.
So who knows if that will really happen. But I will say this is the time to buy.
I was just going to say that. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were like, well, we want to wait till rates go down. And I'm like, well, just so you know, when you do that, just be prepared. It's going to get, there's going to be a lot of buyers waiting for that.
Yeah, I
And
can't
you're
remember.
going to have a lot of competition.
5.5 million buyers
5.5 million.
will enter the market if and when it drops below 6, which seems wild to me.
That is.
And I don't know where they get that. I guess it's a prediction.
Well, I know they have I know a
What
lot
price
of the
they're basing that off of.
right. Well, the lenders, are still getting applications, mortgage applications, right?
Yeah, Holly said it's her biggest year ever.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Holly Matthews Houck at United Home Mortgage. You'll be meeting her soon. So I know for me, it depends on the market. My Louisville market seems to be still, it's staying steady, but out here in Mason County, Bracken County,
It's a little slow.
it's a little slow.
So you were just talking about it's a great time to buy. Like during the holidays and you know what I really like?
What?
Is listing houses during the holidays, because what's everybody doing while they're sitting at grandma's house? Scrolling on their cellular device. Because they have nothing to do, nowhere to be.
They don't want to talk to their family.
No.
Yeah, God forbid.
God forbid we visit with
Those
our family.
awkward Thanksgiving conversations.
Yeah.
No.
And so it's really honestly a great time to have your house out there for sale, because people are looking and they have so much time off of work.
Yes.
It's really odd. January seems to be one of my biggest closing months every single year, which seems really odd because everybody thinks the market slows down in the winter. But I personally think it's because people are off work for the holidays, they get to looking, and by the
They have
time
more
we're
time.
ready to close,
They got that Christmas
it's
year
January.
bonus.
Yeah, they do get bonuses.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, let's get them in the market because we've got listings. So
Yes.
and they're nice ones. So we've got a lot. There has been an uptick in people renting. We're seeing those folks. I mean, and all the talking heads. We're not talking heads. We're just realtors. Are saying, you see all these buyers sitting there. Or they don't know if they can rent. So,
If they can buy anything.
or if they can buy, they can rent. But
Well,
they can
and if
buy.
they're renting, rent is crazy these days. Like, unless you're in mom's
Yeah.
basement for real and you're not paying for anything. Rent
and you should be, just so you know, you should be.
Rent is crazy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And like we have so many programs you can buy with $0 down if you're in a USDA area, 3.5% down for FHA.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you're
there's-
renting, you're paying someone else's mortgage. You might as well pay your own.
Exactly. Now, you had that experience, though, like when you bought your house, you went in with another person, right? Or maybe I may be misremembering
with
things.
another
'cause
person.
Didn't you
Tell
buy
me
your
more.
house? No, with somebody else, and then it was...
Her husband?
No, it wasn't her husband. Okay, we will edit that because obviously I'm chasing the wrong rabbit here. Anyway,
The first house that I bought?
so yeah, the one that you had to burn down.
Yeah. No, it was just me.
Oh, it's just you.
I was renting with a friend, and we were splitting a rent payment, which at the time I thought was high, $700.
I still think it's high.
It was high.
I think it's high. It's higher than my mortgage, so.
Yeah, and I was able to buy, now it was a really cheap house. It was a long time ago, but I was able to buy for the half of rent I was paying. So $350 a month was actually my mortgage. But then
The good old days.
it's a long story. It had termites. We had to donate it to the fire department. They burned it down. Great time.
But the land ended up being more valuable to you. Right?
Yeah, so that's how I started flipping real estate, because I bought it for $25,000. It was an old farmhouse. I wanted to rehab it before that was like mainstream big deal.
Yeah.
And it had 5 acres and a 2-car garage. I donated the house to the fire department. They used it for training and burnt it down. And then after the fact, I had it cleaned up and listed it back for sale and sold it for $50,000.
Wow.
Woo!
The land, just the land.
The land.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the people still live there today. That's a great little family. They're
incredible.
They built a
awesome.
house.
They built a beautiful little house. And
Cute.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm curious about why people sit on the fence for so long. I know when I was shopping, I didn't think I could actually afford it. So that was a big consideration. But, you know, when you've got rents at like $1,200 a month, guys, oof,
Yeah, $1,200, $1,400, $1,500, $1,800. I mean, if you're
Even
paying that
$2,000,
in rent,
Yep,
you might be able to buy a house. Depends on what market you're in, right?
exactly.
And you were shocked, Leah, when
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Because I
were
was
able to buy your house, right?
Right, yeah, because it was less than my rent. And that included, you know, when they go through, you have your insurance as well as I was FHA, so I had private mortgage insurance. That's hard to say, private mortgage insurance. And so, you know, it was a little bit more than I expected, but I ended up getting money back at my closing, which was shocking. So, and there's all kinds of grants and programs like that. I mean, I was eligible for a grant program, and so I had got $5,000. Thank you, Uncle Sam, towards my down payment, and so that's why I walked away with a $500 check.
Yeah,
So.
and you had an awesome loan officer.
That makes all the difference. Too.
That was
Yeah.
the big difference. She had Patty Trapp before she retired, and she
Yeah.
was fabulous.
Yes. I've
Magic.
worked with Patty before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and any money she could find for you, she was
did.
finding, and that's
She
why you
did.
got money back and
That's
got all
right.
this money off. That's why it's so important to use a lender that your realtor knows and recommends. Don't go to your local bank and
Oh
try
my
to get a
gosh!
loan.
Don't go to the big ones. You know, sorry.
Yeah.
You're going to have more trouble than you think you will. I got one that's listed and still in contact 2 months and 2 weeks, I think now, and it still hasn't closed. So much fun.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. So I think one of the things folks believe is like, we'll wait. Oh, I'm not ready. And there is a lot of fear, I think, behind buyers jumping in, but it really is a life changer to have your own property. People take you more seriously, and you're a better investment. I noticed immediately. It's like, oh, you own your own house. Oh, okay.
That is always a question on every application for anything. Do you own or rent? And that's why, because they know that you're solid enough. You've already purchased a home, that you're taking care of it, that you're able
You're
to carry that
responsible.
loan.
Yeah, responsible and reliable. Yeah.
You mentioned that buyers are scared. What do you think they're scared of? Like, if I'm a renter right now and I'm in my 30s and I live in mom's basement, what am I scared of? Why do you think I wouldn't be buying?
I think they're scared of some kind of major event happening at the house where they have a major repair that's needed.
Okay.
And they don't have the money for it.
Maybe they're doing paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
You know.
Whereas when they're renting, it's the landowner's responsibility, you know?
Yeah.
They just have to come up with their rent, and that's
Yeah.
really it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the maintenance definitely, I think, is a fear distractor, and it is an unknown. You know, if you're making an investment and you feel tied down or tied in, I think that might be an issue as well. You know, I mean, when you're in your 20s and 30s, you're not really sure exactly a lot of times what you're going to do or where you're going to live, and to have to sell a house just seems like a big hassle.
Okay.
I would venture.
Then
if they
rent
were
it
doing
back out.
Well, I know, rent it, keep it there. So
Or after 2 years, you can resell it. And that is some of the best money that I have ever made. Hands down, the best money that I've ever made is selling a personal property that I have lived in for 2 years or more.
Yep.
Because all of the profit on that is tax-free.
Yeah.
Tax-free money.
We've done it twice.
Yeah.
have you?
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And
The moving part's not, but
moving stuff.
You can't tell me you didn't have boxes still unpacked. You still
straight to the basement.
Yeah, straight to the basement. Hey, look, we can easily move these again.
And if they're worried about like a catastrophic event, then maybe it's our job to educate buyers a little bit more and really push those home warranties.
yeah.
Yes.
Because they can help. I mean, I know they kind of get a bad rap sometimes, but they honestly are helpful, and it's better than
Yeah.
being
There are
completely on
safety
your own.
nets you can put in place to help you if things.
I wish I'd gotten one because it was 3 months after I bought my house, the washer and dryer went kaput. And so I had to buy a brand new one. And, you know, that was
And they would have
$500-600.
fixed them, or
It would have fixed it
replaced them.
for what, small
Yeah.
deductible, and there you go. So,
And a lot of times the seller will buy the home warranty for you. So that's the big thing as realtors. We need to negotiate that for our buyers. And first-time home buyers, if we can get them home warranty and the seller to pay for it, great.
yeah, can be part of the negotiation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Covers
So,
them for their first year at least, and
Yeah.
they can always renew it if they like it.
Yeah. I'll tell you the reason why I decided to kind of jump in the fray. Now, I was 50 years old when I bought my first house, and I truly did not think I would ever buy a house. Thanks to my realtor, I was able to. We'll talk more about that experience one day. But what made me start looking in the first place was actually another friend who was retiring, and he had rented all his life. And it occurred to him, and he was in a creative kind of industry. And so, he didn't have a retirement. And so he didn't have any equity at all. And that was the thing, my kind of aha moment, because, I've been in a creative industry and worked for myself. And I didn't have any equity. And now, 6 years later, I have a good bit of equity in this house as a result. So I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is tough. It's, we talk about it being, it's the toughest, experience next to death and divorce you'll go through. And that can be true, So what about this myth of a perfect market? What is a perfect market? Does it
Well, that
exist?
depends if you're a buyer or a seller.
Okay. So, as a buyer, what is the perfect market, do you think?
I honestly think it's a great market for buyers right now. So right now we have a lot of inventory. People aren't fighting over houses, but the inventory is available. And they can kind of not take their time per se, but they don't have to be in a rush, and they don't have to overbid, and they don't have to go way over list price.
Right.
They don't have to skip anything in their offer just to get their offer looked at. They can actually make some good, solid decisions right now.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I do believe that this perfect moment, it is a fairy tale. I don't believe there is no perfect moment unless it was yesterday kind of thing. I mean, you have people that are wishing on a star like, oh, maybe it'll go to 3% interest rate again. Guys,
The prices would skyrocket.
they would.
Yeah,
Skyrocket.
it wouldn't help because the
No.
prices
That would
go up so
not
much.
help.
Exactly. And I don't think people look at that big picture in that way.
Yeah, and people seem to think like 5 and 6% is a lot, but like I know when my parents bought their
It was
first
12%.
house, 18%.
I was going to say 18 and 19. My parents had to do a land contract because they couldn't afford a house. And that was 1969. Yeah. So that's an idea too. Yeah, I mean, every buyer in every decade says, we should have bought sooner. It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
Well, and the best time to buy, honestly, is when you're ready.
Yeah.
When you want to take that on, and when you're excited about it, when you find the right house, that's the right time to buy for you.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. I mean, the right time to buy for you was at 50 years old, first time, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Do you wish you would have done it sooner?
I wasn't in the position to do it sooner. And I'll tell you, because I was not ready. I did not know if I was going to stay in this area. So for that, it didn't feel ready. But at the same time, I've got, a sister who's 60 years old. She teaches and has been up in central Ohio for 12, 15 years. And I keep telling them, like, you need to buy. She never bought. She rented the entire time. And as you say, if you're renting, you're paying somebody else's mortgage. And she would have had so much equity at this point in time.
That she could have sold it.
I know,
and made
for
money.
a lot more money. A lot more money. So
that's the thing. You're paying somebody's mortgage if you're paying rent.
Yeah.
It's just not yours. It's not
And if you're not
you.
sure you're going to stay in a certain area, then maybe look into...
Sorry, I was checking to make sure her microphone was still on because we had problems with our mics before.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, please continue.
I was going to say look into like multi-unit homes.
Ooh, house hacking. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's talk about that.
I wish somebody would have told me and coached me into that when I first started.
When I was 25.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah, you buy a multi-unit home. And yes, you have to be a landlord, of course. But,
you can live there rent free.
You can live there rent free and somebody else is paying your mortgage.
I mean, if you do it right, If you, even on FHA and VA loans for veterans, you can buy up to a 4-unit. So you could live in one unit and rent the other 1, 2, or 3 out. And sometimes it would pay enough to pay your own mortgage. So it would be crazy for you not to do that instead of renting and paying money out. Now you're gaining the equity and you're living there for very little or free.
Exactly.
And if you do have to pay your portion of it, you're still gaining so much equity and other people are helping pay the payment on it. I just, I wish I would have realized that a long time ago.
Same. So, okay, so how to decide with confidence, although not certainty. I mean, we don't have to be certainty. Sometimes, life
is uncertain.
It is uncertain. It's uncertain. I can't even speak this morning, guys.
Uncertain.
Dry mouth, everything. It's hot in here.
Aren't you the vocal coach?
I know, I am.
You are. Professional voiceover.
I was going to say, I had to drive 2.5 hours in town and get up at the crack of dawn. And we also had the time change, guys. So let me tell you, it takes me a week to get back into the thing. My body's like, that's another thing when you get into 50s. So, but yeah, deciding confidence. Okay, you can have confidence. And again, I think that is related to doing your research. Get your pre-approval. Don't think, I'm going to just look on these different platforms and shop around. Oh, that looks cute. Oh, can I afford that? Well, it says I can.
Should they get their approval online?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where should they get that, Sierra?
From their local real estate agent and a lender they recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. It can make the process easier and less stressful. And
you're working with someone local
that knows the local market.
Yeah.
And they will answer their phone after 5 p.m. and on weekends when you are house shopping. If you're using a lender that only answers their phone 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, that's an issue if you're house hunting in the evenings and weekends.
I promise you that's exactly why 2 months and 2 weeks I've been waiting on this. It's like, they're gone. So it is true, definitely. Yeah. I have the sellers, not the buyers, so I didn't recommend the lender. So, okay, so get clear on your actual why, not just the numbers. So, real estate math is different than regular math. We'll explore that more, and that's again where you come in and you work with that lender that knows what they're doing and can explain things. There's a lot of education, I think, that's involved in buying real estate.
Yeah, and I feel like I want to make sure that buyers know, like, no question is a dumb question.
Not at all.
Because you don't know what you don't know, and this is one of the largest financial decisions you will ever make in your life, and you need to understand it. It's not scary, it's just a lot of information.
Yes, a lot of information.
And you should ask any question that you want. You should have You should also make sure you have a realtor that's willing to sit with you and explain that stuff, not just somebody, realtors aren't just to go open a door. They're not to find you a house. You can find yourself a house on Zillow.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Yep.
any realtor can open the door for you. Make sure you have somebody that you like and trust and you have tough conversations with. You're comfortable with them because there's a lot of information that you might want to know.
A trusted advisor. And they're not going to know everything. I mean, they really won't. I have more respect for people that say, I don't know, but I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to you. And they have that follow through.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Because going back to you buying your first house,
She's going to out me on things
did
again.
you know that any realtor that works in that area and is licensed can show any house no matter whose sign is in the yard? Please don't call the listing agent on the sign in the yard.
Get your own representation.
Yes, yes. In Kentucky and Ohio, they allow something called dual agency. That means that listing agent can actually represent both the buyer and the seller. Now the problem is that you can't fulfill a fiduciary duty, so they're just in essence ferrying information back and forth. They can't help you with the negotiation. You need someone dedicated, team buyer, team seller.
They can't really be your advisor
Right.
when they're representing both parties.
Yeah, I mean, you can't serve two masters. You
Yeah.
cannot get the best deal for the buyer and also get the best deal for the seller. You can
Right.
help them make a deal.
Yeah.
And I know some agents don't agree with that, but it's the truth. Like, you can't
Yeah.
serve two masters. It's just impossible.
Yep. That's why, and it is, I make it very clear from the get-go. I don't do dual agency. I did it once. So stressful. I'll never do it again as a result. And it's easy. I mean, we can actually refer you to a realtor that we have a good relationship with, that we are confident will serve you with integrity if it comes down to that. And make sure you have that representation.
Yeah, you want an advocate for you. Somebody, so when you hire a buyer's agent, it doesn't actually cost you anything if they're able to negotiate it with the seller when you go to purchase or you make an offer.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not always the case. You have to be willing and ready to pay an agent in this day and age. However, most of the time we're negotiating in a contract for you. So it's not money out of your pocket, and it's an advocate that's specifically working for you as a buyer. And that's like what's most important to me.
I think that can be repeated, because I think that is a misunderstanding of a lot of buyers. They believe they're going to have to pay the agent. And, well, what do we owe you? Well, you could if, the seller decide not to pay the buyer's brokerage commission. That's why we have this thing called a buyer's representation agreement that we are going to ask you to sign so we can show you the house. But it is important to understand that we include that in the negotiation, because we're going to ask that. And if there's creative ways, we can be creative about getting in there so it's not coming out of your bank account.
Yeah, and talk to your agent and
Yes.
make sure that they are on board with that. And if you can get it into the deal, at the end of the day, you're paying for it, but it's in the price of the home. So, I mean, it's not like it's thousands of dollars out of your pocket to hire us.
Yeah. And again, don't choose the agent based on what commission they're going to do, because, oh my gosh, you get some people, well, this is the first question of the month. What do you charge for your commission? Let's talk a little bit more about what's involved in the services that I offer as your trusted advisor.
If they can't negotiate for their commission, how are they going to negotiate for you?
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Especially as a seller, I do not want a agent that's going to discount their commission, especially right off the bat, because that's right. Like, they can't if they can't negotiate how they're getting paid, their compensation, then how are they going to make sure you get the most money out of your house?
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. The other thing I think, just as a little footnote, is in this age of social media, I mean, you have a lot of, these reels and, again, the talking heads talking about this market and, oh, wait, it's coming, the lower rates, or no, you should do this or you should do that. I would use the facts, not the headlines. I mean, at any given day, I think it was 1 week said, oh yeah, the market's going to bust. And then, honest to God, I heard another group of professionals say, oh no, it's a boom. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
both ways.
anybody got a crystal ball?
Right.
Yeah.
I was playing with a magic 8-ball, and I was like, let's
was
ask
just
weird
thinking about
questions. maybe we should get that for the next one. We'll get a magic 8-ball here, and we'll just ask a question. What do you think? Because that's pretty much nobody knows, guys. It all depends on so many factors. And honestly,
Yeah.
when you're ready,
That's
jump
the
in
right
the pool.
time.
That's the time.
Yeah, the water's fine. So, all right, it is. Smart real estate is about long-term strategy, not short-term fear. So, waiting for that perfect time equals staying stuck, and particularly living in mom and dad's basement.
Yeah, and if you're
Fly,
curious,
little birdie, fly.
if you're curious at the amount of rent that you're paying, and you'd like to see how much home you could probably buy with that amount, comment below and we'll send you a link where you can check that out and see, how much house could I buy with the amount of rent that I'm paying. Now you have to take into account your taxes and insurance, and maybe private mortgage insurance if you don't have a full down payment, but it would give you an idea because that's interesting to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah, drop it below and we'll drop you a link.
DM ready or basement. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this has been another episode of Nobody Listens to Liz. Hope you've enjoyed listening to Liz and Sierra and myself, Leah. Join us next time. We will have more information, more fun stories and tidbits about buying and selling here in Kentucky and Ohio, the Midwest, the great Midwest. So I'm Leah Frederick.
I'm Liz Eric Dykes.
And I'm Sierra Peluso.
And Nobody Listens to Liz. See you guys next time.